All right, we're going live.
I'm gonna headbutt you in your wiener.
Okay, we're officially live. Clean up all the language. Everybody
Oh,
start
jeez.
acting professional.
I hope that
That's
didn't
good.
get on live. That would not be good.
I'm totally kidding. You guys can say as much foul language as you want.
So
Yeah.
what's up with the flag, man? What's going on there?
Well, I decided that, in honor of having both of my good Ohio buddies on today live, that I would welcome you to the Sooner Nation. Just a friendly. I felt like it was the right thing to do, given the fact that we did leave a flag right dead center in your stadium this year.
Yeah, we're
Al,
gonna return. We're gonna
you have
return
to have
that.
some. You got to have some garb up there, don't you? Some Ohio State gear. I'm fresh out here at the office.
Y'all put that up for the season, huh?
Yeah, we did. It's Dayton Flyer basketball season, so that's what
There
we're
you go.
working on now.
Hey, you've been. I asked you, Andrew, if you've been watching my boy Trey Young. You watched anything yet on him?
Yeah, I have been since you talked about it. Yeah,
He's bad. He's a bad man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch him play in the future here.
Yeah. So obviously today, Andrew, we got some fun stuff to talk about. So I'm really excited because I think we're going to add a lot of value as well. I think if for those of you who are listening and in real estate and you want to grow your business, I think you're going to take away some great nuggets here. But you had said you made a big mistake, and I could probably I have probably a long list that I could probably guess what those might have been. But I'm curious, what that big mistake was.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get out. I mean, obviously, it's been bothering me a little bit. I really wanted to get out and kind of tell, I guess, my friends and family and the people that are in, the realtors out there across the country that I've known for years, kind of why we made the move to eXp. And the big mistake I made was, obviously not listening to my man Al from when he called me with that Cleveland voice, that twang he's got, and it's like, hey, Gaydosh, I think we have the solution to our problem. And man, it was the middle. It was at the end of the summer, and we're so busy with the extra lake sales. It jumps on top of our normal sales and all that kind of stuff. That I just didn't have a chance to really look into the opportunity as much as I wanted to right away. But I'm telling you what, man, the big mistake was not jumping on the train a lot earlier. Man, Al, kudos to you to bringing it to the table, but really excited. And most people know now that we did make a major move in our brokerage. We've moved from Better Homes and Gardens to eXp Real Estate, and are super excited.
So
when,
go ahead, Al.
I was just gonna say, when you make a mistake, you got to follow that up with the lesson. So the lesson, you got to listen to the boy from Cleveland.
Well, yeah, you're right, man. When you called me down and we went to the ATP together, and I could see it. I could just see all the mojo was happening. I mean, this is like your first day. I think you switched your license that day. I could see it was something special. I just had to go look at it for myself. And Jay, I didn't even know you were heading down to Lauderdale to the convention, the eXp convention.
Neither did I.
Of course, it was ironic as close as we are and as networked as we are, but it was such a last minute jump for both of us. That was really the defining factor for me. Al called me and said, hey guys, or called me and said, hey, I think I found the solution to the problem. And to kind of back up a little bit, the problem that we had was, the lack of opportunity that we were kind of viewing within our teams. I mean, both our teams were very successful. I mean, top in the market or one of the top few in the market and doing really well. The agents were making money. We were making money. Everything was going as planned, right, as it was designed to. But I just felt like, and I know Al and I and you and Jay, we've talked many times on Mastermind with this. For years, we tried to kind of find what's the solution to the opportunity for our teammates and for us to have, a business that's saleable at the end when we're ready to slow down, as well as the opportunity for our team to grow with us. I mean, sure, we're doing well as a team leader, making a good living at it, but I certainly wanted the rest of our agents to have that same opportunity we did. And I think where Al and I were kind of going in a little bit of a direction, we were trying to determine or develop a kind of an inside plan for almost like a retirement plan for our agents. Right. And I was kind of going the direction of a real estate investment opportunity, kind of a fund where we would fund all the agents on our team. We would kind of match funds and help with that in the hopes that, 20 years later when they're ready to slow down, or 30 years later, that they could, they have quite a bit of money sitting there waiting for them and another revenue stream. And that was really what we were trying to work on. So when he called me and said, hey, I think I found the solution, that was the solution he was talking about.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully everybody picked up on that, and I think everybody probably did. But I just want to underscore something. I had many conversations with Al as well on the same topic, trying to, with Excel spreadsheets, we got on with the CFO trying to model things out, what can you offer the agent? And I think there's two things that you're trying to solve. I think we want, our most successful agents and, to all have an opportunity, to have some type of retirement, because you don't get that in real estate. And most of us don't do a very good job. We barely pay our taxes on time, much less, save money for retirement. Right. So as real estate agents, that's a really big solution that if it was involved, if you had it in your business model, you would have an advantage, for, recruiting great agents and, and rewarding those great agents with that opportunity. So that's the, again, the problem, one of the problems we were trying to solve was how do we implement that into our business? What would that look like? And you guys were doing a great job. Al, I think you were working harder than any of us on it, trying to solve that problem. And I think you were getting close, but I think that, you might even share, Al, I mean, how did you, obviously everything happens for a reason. I'm just glad everything did happen the way it did. But
yeah.
It came across your path and you saw it, right?
Well, I think we've talked about that, one of the reasons I saw it and was, number one, I allowed myself to see it, number one. And I didn't allow myself to see it for a full year. I blew, people off that I knew and trusted. And because I think we were so focused on solving the problem. That's number one. Number two, the fact that we were trying to solve the problem, working so hard, we were real about what the problem was. We were aware. We had the awareness. So if you have the awareness, when you see it, then it's pretty easy at that point to see that, wow, this is actually the solution that we've been looking for. But if you're not, if you don't understand or you're not aware that there is an issue, then you have no reason to look for it, right? And I appreciate all the words, the kind words, Mr. Gaydosh. But it was Mr. Gaydosh who actually came up with the idea based off of a friend of his who made partner in their firm. And it's a real estate company, but it's not a residential sales like what we run as a brokerage. They do more investments and things like that. And the guy made partner, and that was actually what sparked that idea that Andrew was talking about to either give some kind of an ownership situation to the agents and there to be something at the end, an end game for them, and create that end game and tie it back to the company so that there is alignment, and not only alignment, but there's also, it's a retention piece too. One of the biggest things I was just talking to, I'm not going to mention brands, but I was just talking to an owner of a very large franchise in the country, and he happens to own one of the franchises, and I was talking to him, and he was telling me they have a 30% attrition rate, and I was actually shocked. I really didn't even I had no clue that it was as high as that for this particular company.
That's
and
unreal.
I did not think that was not it's not the image that's portrayed, right? So the problem's real, and it's not just for us. It's for all brokerages that I'm aware of out there, that you always need to be recruiting, you always need to be, because there's that attrition piece. So it was Andrew that came up with it. I just started running with it because I knew that would solve the problem. We ran probably down the wrong road, but thankfully, I have no regrets on going down and crunching all those numbers and spending the hours and hours and days with you and Jeff and Andrew trying to figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I was able to see it. And as soon as I saw the eXp opportunity, it was like, okay, this is it. And hey guys, we don't have to recreate it. It's built for us.
Right.
How nice is that? So.
No, you're absolutely right. You talk about the opportunity. That's really the main focus there. What is the opportunity that we as team owners can provide the guys and gals on our team? And I feel like it's our responsibility to at least look at these different opportunities. And of course, we're wired that way. We're always looking what's out there that can help us, help our team. But you know, for those friends that are in the real estate business that maybe you're not thinking that way, you know, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for the opportunity. And the only reason they're going to leave you is if the opportunity is greater somewhere else, if you're not providing that. And that's really where, that was a side note. I mean, obviously, my main concern was, we have a fantastic culture. Our culture is awesome. You know, it's just, I can't say enough about our team. They're wonderful. And with that, I really wanted, as we were growing and, you know, financially I was doing better. I wanted them to do well too. I didn't, like Jay says, I didn't want everybody on, you know, I wanted them to have their own boat when we're out on the lake. So, you know, why not share the wealth? And that's really kind of where we were kind of looking at this thing, the opportunity to begin with. But thanks, Al. Appreciate it. And, you know, there's a multitude of reasons why once I saw the opportunity and why, you know, that was why I was intrigued initially with the eXp brand, why I jumped on a plane to head down to Lauderdale to meet you guys, to down there to check it out. But what really sold me on the eXp brand was, you know, first and foremost was the leadership. I know you've said that too, Jay. I mean, we were sitting in the auditorium when Glenn was up on stage and he was talking, and I think you and I both looked at each other and kind of had chills and our goosebumps from what, you know, how hard it was that we were trying to, I know you guys especially with partner and doing all that stuff, but I mean, just the energy in the room was incredible. So having been there for the initial, I guess, teaser about the opportunity, but then to actually meet the leadership team, you know, having lunch and dinner with all of them, from Brent to the president to CFO to everybody, I walked away going, man, the brand has sold me, but I'm betting on the leadership team. I'm betting on Glenn and his team that they're going to be the ones that are going to be more suited for the next model or this new model of real estate that's coming, whether we want it or not. I mean, when you talk about, I mean, I just came back from NAR, and when, you know, at the time, NAR I think was just a couple weeks after, and looking at it, and if it was amazing. Every conversation I had, or every conversation I went to after the seminars that people were up there, I mean, all the leaders of the major companies were all talking about the same thing: the threats to the industry, how the cloud is changing things, how Google and Amazon and all these things. I mean, they're seeing it on the wall. So I'm looking at myself going, man, why aren't we aligning ourselves with that model already? And rather than following it, why don't we become a market maker and help mold that model? So that's kind of what really tied me into the actual pulling the trigger.
Right. It was funny. You reminded me of something that happened, and it's on my YouTube channel. If you scroll down, there's a rant that I did while I was at the Gathering of the Eagles event, and this is the top brokerages in the country get invited to it, and we must have snuck in. So, you know, I mean, I'm talking doing billions of dollars, and I mean, big companies. And I was listening to them on stage, and they were talking about their business model. Now, imagine, you know, the traditional brokerage has, you know, maybe 5% margin, you know, built into it. You know, if you know of the cost of sales, 95%. How do we make this 5% of this big thing we got, you know, profitable and better, and this and that and the other? And the whole conversation, a whole panel of them up there, were talking about their office space, and they were talking about how to, you know, how the new way to, you know, to lower your overhead with your office space. Like that was what they were trying to do. But like, you want to talk about, you can't fix that problem. You got, you know, they come over the top with the cloud-based model, and now you're completely irrelevant. You know, I mean, there's just no money in the real estate brokerage business from that perspective for them to innovate and really recreate themselves in a way to put something in place like this incredible revenue share opportunity. They can't compete with it with their current model. So, you know, we said it all along that disruption would come from outside the industry, not from within the industry. But I had no idea it was going to come by disrupting how agents are compensated. That's just, you know, only a visionary, you know, can see that. And Glenn, you know, saw the problem, put it all together, and built a company. And then he shared the ownership with all of us, which was genius. And now, you know, we get to ride this train together, all together, one big family.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I'm just trying to position ourselves is really kind of our main focus. I mean, it's coming. We talked about it before you know, you've got Netflix or Blockbusters. What Blockbuster? Who are you betting on? Well, I'm betting on a cloud-based brokerage at this point, and nothing against the rest of the guys. I mean, the brokers I left, I loved them. I mean, they were great people. I mean, they really were. And from the ownership all the way down, I mean, I can't say enough nice things about them. And they're gonna do fine. It's just for us and where we're going and where we want to be in the future. This is definitely the path that we feel like is going to position us, not only our team, but our clients with the technology and everything else that it affords us. I mean, it's light years ahead of where I think a lot of people are thinking right now.
Right. No question.
Hey, and we're not, the funny thing is I just met with 4 agents Monday, 2 and 2 separately. And I ran into another situation that we keep hearing about with agents who they haven't jumped yet. And they're not even, maybe some of them aren't even indicating these guys are actually heavily, interested in the model at this point. But another guy, he's like, yeah, I bought stock. So there's people that are betting, they're betting to just see,
right?
Maybe
yep.
Alan J and Andrew, we could be wrong. So
yeah.
I'm just gonna throw 5 grand. I'll buy some of that stock and watch that. Yeah. That way I'm not fooled, And it's funny. I keep hearing it every
all the
week.
time.
I hear a new person that's like, well, no, I'm not in. I'm open to listen to you, but I did buy stock about 2 months ago. I'm liking that.
Yeah, and you're probably getting the text every day like I get. Hey, man, have you seen our stock? Have you seen our stock? And these people aren't even with the company yet, but they bought it. Well, that was part of the other big mistake. If you think about it, I think the stock was trading literally. I think at the convention time, wasn't it right around 4.5, something like that?
$3.63.
I mean,
when I pulled it up on my phone, and it was $3.63.
It's crazy. I mean, I look back on it, it's that's 3 to 4 times now, and what it's gone up in such a short period of time. So, hey, if you see an opportunity, the moral of the story is you better jump on it quickly. Now, we are not too late by any means.
No.
The stock would have been a heck of a lot better, but I mean, we are in the infancy of this. I mean, you're talking Jay, how big do you foresee this company getting with the number of agents?
Man, I don't know what their limitations are. My biggest concern is the pace at which they're growing, and I don't know if they've released the numbers yet. I'm somewhat privy to them a little bit early, but they're the pace that they're growing at month over month right now is unprecedented. Close to 1,000 agents this month. So that's an incredible pace. Which has them probably trending in the 18 to 20,000. So a growth of from 6,000 whatever it was to 20,000 in a year. That's a big jump. And if you've ever read the book Exponential Organizations and you look at all the principles at play for what creates this hockey stick growth in companies, they actually have the business model that is aligned to that. The onboarding process, everything. There's some touches and some things with the state brokers and things like that that are they're still learning some things as they grow out big states. But for the most part, like it's smooth. I mean, it really is pretty smooth. So I don't think that we're I don't know. I mean, do I believe there could be 250,000 agents or more at eXp just in the United States? Absolutely. But this is a worldwide opportunity. They're not. I mean, they're already talking other countries outside of North America, sure. And that's a very real opportunity. There's absolutely no reason why they shouldn't do that. So who knows how many real estate agents not just worldwide that this company, not to mention title, mortgage, all of these things that now you're perfectly aligned with the agent because we have stock and ownership in the company. Why wouldn't we use our own companies? So those are things that are, I think make the opportunity bigger than what we see. And I'm not going to underestimate Glenn and his vision. That's for sure. So he might be thinking.
It's funny. You told me to buy that book, Exponential Organizations.
Yep.
And I've been reading it. And what you just said, about underestimating, that's the one common denominator when they're talking about exponential organizations, is that when a company talks about a hockey stick, I mean, yeah, we're on the hockey stick right now as we speak, but what happens is every single thing, there it is,
Yep.
Every company that they studied that had the exponential growth, like what we're talking about right now, all of them underestimate. They actually miss their marks by over 90% sometimes, and not in the negative where they're missing it. They underestimated the amount of growth. So when there's an idea that you grab that dog by the tail and it starts to go, you always almost underestimate. And we were talking to was it Rob Flick the other night with Brent Gove, and you asked him that question. I don't know if it was because of that book, where you read about it,
Yeah.
but he even said every estimate that I, and he's arguably probably one of the most successful recruiters at this point as far as attracting agents to eXp. And at every point where he's got all his goals laid out.
He got it all laid out.
He's all got out. Yeah, he knows exactly how many agents grew and this and that. He was wrong every time, but in other words, it beat it. For whatever he estimated where he would be at or where the company would be at in agent count, it blew it out of the water by ridiculous amounts.
Right.
So that's where we're at right now. We're on the rocket ship.
Yeah, and it's safe to say that it's definitely in the infancy stage. I mean, and we're talking, there's a heck of a lot of growth. So that's where I was looking at it going, hey, did I miss the mark? Well, heck, it just started. I mean, it's not even a household name yet. So I am super excited about that.
I don't know how many people are watching that never even heard of it, but I talk to people every day that are eXp. What's that? I've never even heard of it. And I'm talking every day. I mean, there's only 7,000 agents. Like, that's it, guys. That's all that are here. There's million plus real estate agents, not counting not realtors. You know what I'm saying? There's another, I think, million or so there. And they're in the United States and Canada with only 7,000 agents. So you add all that, and it's, this is a baby company. We're in this is the beginning. But what we did was we missed the 7 years of the hard part that everybody else had to go through. We got in right when it was just perfect. I mean, it just, we timed this one just right. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So, yeah,
we must be lucky.
Right. You might be right. So here's what I want to talk about, guys. So, we have all had a lot of fun together, and over the years, one of the things that's always been, I think, if you were to probably underscore, like, what are the things that we all really genuinely care about the most, one of them's got to be fun. And I think maybe the other one is probably adding value to people's lives. And this is, one of those opportunities we've always tried to align. How could we do something together? What would it look like if we did something together? And I was having a conversation with Carlos this morning, and we did, and he did a great job with an interview that he had, for me, of me, and just asking some questions about, what are we doing in this alignment? And I'm calling it the abundance effect. And that's what I'm going to start calling this, because when you really think about it, like, of all the agents that have joined eXp, this is what I'm finding. And you tell me if maybe it changed your mindset too, Andrew and Al as well. But we've always been kind of had an abundance mindset, trying to add value to people's lives. But when it comes to our real estate businesses, like in our own markets, we kind of be like, okay, yeah, but I ain't showing them that, there's some things that we kind of, we don't reveal the entire playbook. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And almost every single person that I've talked to, interviewed, or has interviewed me, or we've done a live together, has gone out and then said, they're adding value. I had, Brian and Colleen Souza in California. They were at an open house, and they were trying to put a deal together, and they called an agent and gave them a transaction that they never would have gave them ever in their life before, because they were wanting to help them come over to eXp. And they're looking at the business completely different. This abundance mindset that's being created by, hey, if I can help you be successful, then I'm going to win too, which is what I think obviously attracted us to it. The fact that, listen, I can talk to anybody and help them with their business now, and I don't have to ask for a credit card at the end of the conversation. There's nothing more fulfilling for me than to be able to do that. That's what gives me joy. But the fact that now everything that you've done to be successful, are you feeling way more open to share that now with agents that, obviously if they come on board, they're not joining your team maybe necessarily, they're just coming over to eXp, but you're much more likely to want to help them now. Do you feel the same way? Is that something you've noticed or thought about?
It's funny. It's spot on. I mean, we were wired so often where, you help it's on your team, and, you want to be professional. You want to have great relationships with other agents, and, there's benefits to that, but you're not going to go out and help somebody with their listing presentation when they're your competition.
Right.
Well, what's interesting about this, I mean, even Lauren Lee, one of the gals that's in our group, obviously by joining forces and arms together with our group, we have, Jay Kender and NAEA's material and things like that, which obviously you can talk about. But, Lauren called me and said, hey, I got a problem. I got a great opportunity, a listing opportunity. She's about 45 minutes away in another market. Wasn't as familiar with some of the training that we've done in the past. She wasn't part of our group. And can you help me out? Well, heck yeah, come on up. Let's sit down and let's talk. We spent a couple hours together, kind of got her suited up for the appointment, kind of loaned her a placemat, and she was ready to go. She did a great job. And that was totally in alignment with my goals as well as hers. It's just phenomenal, awesome. The way it changes the way you think.
Right.
That's amazing.
That is awesome. That is extreme. That's a great story, man. I had no idea you were going to share that, and I didn't know that happened. So, yeah.
Well, it's because you partnered with her. I mean, we're partnered.
It's one big family. I mean, I don't know. Even Ronnie and up north. I mean, you talk about all the different people that we have that are thousands and thousands of miles away, but we're calling each other, going, hey. Can you help me out on this? Can you help me out on that? And everybody's, like I said, it's part of the family. So I'm super excited. Jay, what you've been willing to do with all the training and the materials and things like that, I think gives us a competitive advantage, obviously, over a lot of folks out there in the market. But, man, what we were paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month for, it's like, hey, join our team. It's yours, baby.
Right. Come on, get on the train. The abundance effect.
Exactly.
I like that. Real abundance.
Yeah. So Al,
yes.
How have you thought any more about I know your new facilities and things like that? How are things going with you with your group up there? Is there anything that agents that have concerns about? Oh, I'm so used to going to the office. What am I going to do? I mean, that has not been obviously a problem for a lot of the people we've talked to with the Regis opportunity and some of these other situations. But tell me your guys' experience with that.
Well, I mean, it's funny you asked that because I'm actually at my old real estate. Today's the 31st of January, and you can see it's not pretty, but we're moved out. I just have a couple more boxes that I'm here right now, just packing up the last 4 boxes of stuff. And this was my first real estate office I opened in 2012. And then we combined our call center with another office. So, in our market, I'm opening up, if somebody needs an office, I am the Regis. I changed my business model around a little bit, and Regis is something that everybody gets, but in my market, there's a Regis right across the street. So if they want to use that for an office or a conference room, that's cool. But I also have that as well because I already had 2 offices and I'm operating another business, and I needed it anyway. And that business so happens to align with everything that we're doing. So for me, it was just getting everything under one roof. But that I've not gotten any pushback at all in our area for sure about office space. We also have another partner of ours, Renee Velasquez and Bob Bodassian. They opened up another hub, if you will, just about 40 minutes south of where we're at here too. So there's large teams and brokerages that are coming over, and they already have space, and they're keeping it. And the model that we're suggesting and we're working through, with this hub, is really just making that available to people that whether they're on our team or not on our team. This model's lifted a lot of those limitations off, and maybe those limitations just existed in our own brain. They probably did. But this really just lifted that off, and it did put us in a line with anybody who joins eXp, whether it's on our team or whether they join us as a partner or they just join on their own and they need to use your conference room once in a while. I'm happy to let them, just like you helped Lauren Lee.
Yeah. We're kind of looking at the same thing. We've got, our 2 team offices, one at the lake and then one here near Austin Landing, near Dayton. And it's the same thing. We're working on a model right now for those agents that are not on Andrew Gaydosh and Associates team, but with eXp and the family, our family here, that they can, obviously benefit from the facilities. So we're excited about that as well. Well, cool. So what else you got going on, Jay?
Man, all I can tell you is the number of people that are, first of all, people that I haven't talked to in 10 years that I love and just we lost connection, going separate paths, are all starting to come out of the woodwork. And what I see happening is the absolute most fun life I've ever experienced, getting to work with everyone that I've ever wanted to work with, all come into eXp is what it feels like. And the top agents, I think the biggest shift that's happening is the number of mega that are quietly transitioning over right now, that nobody even has a clue it's coming. And I can pretty well guarantee you that that if they're watching, maybe they're not watching this, but if you're thinking you're in isolation thinking about this, you're not.
Right.
Hey, so what you're trying to say is you have secrets?
Yeah, I have secrets. Unfortunately, I can't share.
Yeah.
I got some secrets I can't share, but that would shake the foundations of a few of the big companies.
Yeah, I got a couple of secrets up my sleeve.
So that's always fun,
Well, it's definitely coming, and it's funny. I was talking to a couple of my 30 under 30 friends that I think are looking at it, but not really certain. That it's so new to them. They're kind of exploring, and I said, listen, you have an obligation, first of all, to yourself to educate yourself about what's coming down the road, whether it's right for you or not. I mean, your team members are going to hear about this. People in the industry are going to be asking you about it. So you just have an obligation to educate yourself on it. At least watch the link, see exactly what it's all about, so you can kind of make a good decision, whether it's for yourself or at least, heck, it might help you and continue to run your business like you always have. But the reality of it is, it's coming. It's kind of like we keep talking about Netflix. It's here. It's not going away. And this model is going to be positioning us uniquely to basically compete in that cloud-based environment, which is pretty phenomenal. Everybody's asking me, like, hey, when are you going to make your big announcement? Well, we joined almost 30 days ago it was. Well, I'm the kind of guy that I like to drive it before I buy it, and then I like to drive it more before I tell my friends about it. And in this environment, I'm telling you, it's a big move for us. I mean, we had a RE/MAX office, our franchise for 10 years, sold that when we were moving markets. Loved the RE/MAX brand. Couldn't say enough about it. Some of my best friends in the world are in RE/MAX and still are. Loved the other brands I was with Realty. I mean, not that that's a problem, but, as we're moving forward, I knew that this was the opportunity, but I also wanted to test it for 30 days before to basically prove to myself that what I thought it was, it actually was. And I can tell you this, Jay, after 30 days and now, it's spot on. In fact, it's exceeded our expectation because we were attracted to the model because of certain things, like we talked about, the opportunity for our agents to grow, create wealth long term, for the revenue share, the stock and all that. That was kind of got my attention. Then when you start peeling back the curtains a little bit and you're seeing how the actual company operates, how nimble it is, how quick and efficient, you're like, wow, I can't believe that they can actually do this. Now you're starting to fall in love with it a little bit more. Having been in this 30 days, I'm telling you, it's time for me, at least I feel it's my obligation now to tell my friends and family that are in the business, hey, you need to check this out. It is what it is. We're coming out of the blocks excited, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys this weekend too. We're going to be killing it on the board, on the mountain. Looking forward to that as well.
Hey, just to pile on that, Andrew, and I know that you're you said 30 days. Feels like longer than that, but we just crossed the 5-month mark, and two of my top agents, maybe 3, but 2 for sure, they've already capped. And the cool part is what they've earned, and they use the stock purchase program. So between what they've earned when they earned stock with their first transaction of the year, they earned 75 shares of stock, and they've been purchasing it with the 5% program at a 20% discount. They've paid nothing. They've actually made money. You know what I mean? When you look at what they've started to accumulate in wealth, and I get that it's stock and it's on paper, but you know, when we came in, that stock was around that $3, and my first 2 buys were at $2.60 that I was using that 5% of my commissions on. And so I personally have not really paid anything to be at this company, and it's been great. It's just because of the awards, you know, and just sharing the idea with people, and it's pretty easy. You know, you hit on it with it. It's an obligation. I do look at it. You know, it is an obligation. Whether it's, you know, you look at it or not and say, nah, I'm going to pass. That's fine. But it doesn't matter what it is. We all have an obligation to our families. And then if you have a team and if you lead people, you have an obligation to them and their families too, to make sure that you're positioning them in the best position. So, sorry, I got a call there. But in 10 years, they're going to be in a better position they are today than they were, you know, when you know, today. Absolutely. And I know that as an independent broker, there's no way that I've been able to position themselves in the position they will be as far as wealth and savings and you know, ultimately one day retirement from this awesome business that we're in, you know?
Yeah, that's why we're so excited. I mean, it's finally an opportunity, like you said, having more fun in the business than we have in a long time. It's kind of like back when we first got started, and you know, you're coming out of, in my case, coming right out of school into the business. You know, to make, you know, 50 grand in a year was huge. You know, it's like, wow, I won't need anything else other than that. I mean, obviously knowing that we did, but my point being is you were excited to get to work. You were excited to come make those calls. You were excited to do anything you could to get another sale. And that's kind of where we're at right now. This is a new frontier in real estate. We are pumped to share it, talk to people about it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a call. Check out our link. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal stuff. Like we said, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out so you know what it's about.
That's it. Love it, guys. Appreciate you guys again. I'll see you in Jackson Hole. Get the snowboards ready. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah, I was
waxing it up
last night.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.
Hey, thanks, Jay. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you guys.
See you guys
All
soon.
right, man. See you guys.
All right, bye.